Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you?
MashaAllah, I'm good. How are you, Hirani?
Good. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. So, I guess this is our fifth and hopefully final session. Fifth, I guess, of gender interaction. I hope really that this will be final session, inshallah. So far we discussed the first session we discussed mahram versus non-mahram. You remember, Hirani?
Yes.
Keep your bag straight, Hirani. Second, about aura. You remember, Fatima?
Yes.
Third was about
Puberty.
puberty. You remember, Hirani?
Yeah.
The last session we discussed was about the starting of gender interaction guidelines. And the first guideline we discussed in detail, that whenever a man and a woman are talking to each other or looking at each other, they should not look at the aura. You remember that, Fatima and Ibn?
Yes.
And so basically when you look at them, you should look at them with the eyes of respect. You should have respect in your eyes. You should not look at the aura. We discussed that in detail last time. You remember that, right, Ibn?
Yeah.
So that's first guideline to remember. Remember I told you this before we started last time, and I'm repeating it again, Fatima and Ibn.
Yes.
If a man and a woman who are non-mahram to each other, and they have reached to the age of puberty, if they want to live together, how they can live?
They need to get married.
They need to get married. And that's why marriage is an act of ibadah. Your abba and your mama, me and your mother, before 12-13 years, we started living together through marriage, right?
Yes.
If a man and a woman, Hiban, you answer me this question. If a man and a woman who have reached to the age of puberty, non-mahram, if they live together without marriage, is it halal or haram?
Without much harm.
Good job. Do you know anyone, Fatima and Ibn, what is the Arabic word for if a man and a woman lives together?
Zina. It's haram.
Yeah, it's haram. So that's zina. Okay, now remember this, Fatima and Ibn, I'm telling you something very important.
Right.
When a man and a woman who are stranger for each other, non-mahram for each other, reach to the age of puberty, if they want to live together without marriage, that's haram, and that's called as
Zina.
zina. There are some small steps of zina which will take you to the larger step. So if you look at the aura, let's say, if you look at the aura of if you look at the aura of non-mahram woman, it's haram.
Yeah. Yes.
That is called as zina of eyes also. Remember this. Prophet Muhammad also said, zina of eyes is you look at the aura of non-mahram. So when a man looks at the aura of
A woman.
woman, or a woman do the same thing, that is called as zina of eyes. That is haram, right, Hibban?
Yeah.
So and again we discussed this last time, you're not supposed to look at whether it comes in television, cell phone, or when you go outside, when you see a man or a woman who is a stranger, non-mahram to you, and their auras are being exposed above the age of puberty, then you're not supposed to see that. Is that clear?
Yeah.
You should lower your gaze. And let's say if you have something really important to convey, then convey to them, and then lower your gaze.
What is convey?
Convey means you have to talk to them by giving a message. Then give the message in a respectful way, but don't just keep looking at their body if their auras are
Exposed.
exposed. Is it clear, Fatima and Irfan? So once aura is exposed, you have to keep your gaze lower. Is it clear? And you know what aura is, right, Fatima and Irfan? We discussed this last time.
Yes.
You know this, right, Irfan? What is aura, Irfan?
Man is here. Body button to
Good job. And woman, Fatih?
The whole body except hands, face, and feet.
And everyone says face, or there are a few scholars who include face also?
Not face, some even include hands.
Good job, mashallah. We saw that in Saudi also, right? You remember that?
Some people cover their whole body, even feet.
Yeah. Okay. So respect and eyes. That's the first thing. So whenever you are talking to a woman, what you should have, Hibban?
Respect in eyes.
What does it mean? Should you look at aura or no?
No.
Good job. Fatima?
Yeah.
Whenever you are talking to guys, what do you have to keep in mind? First thing is,
Respect in eyes.
what does it mean? You cannot look at the aura when you're talking to them, okay?
Look down your gaze.
Okay, so this is done, right, Hibban, Fatima?
Yes. Yes. Check.
Number 2. Whenever you are talking to a non-mahram who have reached to the age of puberty, second point to remember, that your conversation, your talking should be only useful, not useless. You know what is the difference between useful and useless?
Yes,
Yeah.
I can get
Okay. Let me ask Hibban and then I'll ask you. Okay. Hibban, what do you think about useful and useless?
Useful is that something makes sense and is good for you. And
Good job.
useless-
And you need that. And useless is okay. Fatima, what is use? Good job, Hibban. What is useless?
Useless is wasting your time. It can waste your time.
And it's not needed.
Yes.
It's not needed.
It's unnecessary.
Unnecessary. Good job. It's unnecessary. So Abdullah and Fatima. Let's take this example. Actually, Fatima, you. Abdullah and Maryam. They are two non-mahram for each other. They've reached to the age of puberty. 20 years old both. If Abdullah asks Maryam, Hibban, can you pay attention? If Abdullah asks Maryam, can you help me? Can I borrow your pen? Let's say. Can I have a pen? Can I have a pencil? It's useful, right?
Yeah.
It's considered
You
useful.
need it.
Because there is a need, right? Hibban?
Yeah.
But if Abdullah says to Maryam, oh, check the weather. Weather is so nice. Is there a need for this type of conversation, Fatima?
No.
Yes.
No, you could tell.
Okay, why yes, Hibban?
We could check the one.
Okay, you can check why you are asking Maryam then.
Yes, it's
So it's needless, right? It's useless, right?
yeah.
So you will say, if you are asking for pen or pencil, if there is a need, it's fine. But if you are saying check the weather, it means that this conversation is not good. This conversation is not good. Is it clear, Fatma Riban? So for a practicing Muslim man and woman, your conversation should be only useful, not useless. So for example, can a man joke around with a woman who is non-mahram?
No.
No.
Men
If you want to joke around, you can. Men should joke around with men, and women should joke around with women. But joking is not necessary, right? Joking is something we do for relaxing. So you should do it with your same gender or with your mahram relatives, okay?
Yeah.
Yes, Fatima.
My teacher sometimes jokes with our class.
That's good. So if your teacher in a group setting feel that there is a need after 20 minutes, after 15 minutes of studies to have a lighter joke, and then it will be fine because it's in a group setting, your teacher have a relationship, different relationship he's doing in a group. But if Fatima and Abdullah, let's say if not you Fatima, let me change the name. If Abdullah and Maryam, they are sitting alone in a room, and then they are joking, then it's not permissible because they are actually directing jokes towards each other. Is it clear, Fatima and Iban?
Yeah.
So second thing is the talking, the conversation which you are doing with your non-mahram should be useful. So no joking, no useless conversation. Is it clear, Fatima and Iban?
Yeah.
Yes.
If we say non-useful things, is it haram?
It will take the conversation to haram. Saying salam to each other, is it fine?
Yeah.
But playing basketball with the non-mahram,
That's really bad, really.
yeah, that's bad because when you're playing basketball, is it a necessary thing?
No.
Will you die if you won't play basketball?
No.
Is it a religious thing? No. So men should play with men and women should play with.
Woman.
Is it clear, Fatima and Iban?
Yeah.
So anything which is useful in terms of religion, useful in terms of dunya, you can ask in a respectful way. Can I have this? Can I have this favor? But if it's not needed, men and a woman who are not mahram to each other, they should not talk. Is it clear, Hibban?
Yeah.
So I told you 2 points so far. What are those 2 points? Don't look up. No. Remember, what was the first point?
Respect in eyes.
Good job. Give me this one.
Talking.
Good job. Useful
I
talking.
wanted to.
I will come after the third, inshallah, to you. Okay, Fatih? Okay. Is this clear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's come to the third one. And that is, so after the first thing, the man and a woman, or the boy and a girl who reach to the age of puberty, and they are talking to each other, then they are non-mahram. The first thing they have to remember is respect in eyes. They cannot look at the aura. Second is useful talking, no useless conversation, no jokes, no games, anything. If they want to have jokes or games, they can have with the same gender. Men can play with the men, women can play with the women. Okay, third is no physical contact. No physical,
Contact.
no touching. Basically no touching. Okay? So what does it mean?
No touching. Oh, I know.
Yes. Fatih.
Can't touch here, any part.
You cannot touch at all. No parts at all. So if a man and a woman or a boy or a girl who are non-mahram to each other, they cannot touch each other. Is it clear?
Even hands is salam.
Salam, how you say salam? From your tongue or by touching?
Touch.
You're talking about shaking hands?
Yeah.
Shaking hands should be done only with mahrams or with the same gender. So Hibban, come here. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
I can do this. Fatima is my mahram or not?
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
But let's assume Fatima is sister Hafsa. Does it?
Yeah.
Sister Hafsa or sister Zainab.
Who
Okay.
is-
Sister Zahra.
Sister Zahra means Zahra is your mama. Sister Hafsa. Okay. So, Assalamu alaikum, Sister Hafsa. Now, I cannot shake hand with her if she is not my mahram because she is an opposite gender. I am a man, she is a woman. And assume she have reached to the age of puberty. She is not a child anymore. So, in that case, if I am talking to a non-mahram who have reached to the age of puberty, Hibban, then I cannot touch. Is it clear?
Yeah.
So third rule you have to remember when you're talking to opposite gender. Men are talking to women, boys are talking to girls. They have to remember no touching. Is it clear?
Yeah.
And if someone comes to touch you, you have to say it in a respectful way that sorry, this is my guidelines of religion. These are the guidelines of my religion and I avoid these kinds of interactions. Is it clear?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, Fatih.
One day, remember, 3 people came in your house, 2 men and 1 woman. Sister Aisha and brother Ramzan and brother Uthman. They came to your house for a meeting. So how is she allowed? Because there's only men and they were in a closed room.
I'll mention the fourth. That's a very good question, Fatma. It means that you are noticing these things, mashallah. That's a beautiful question. I'll mention this fourth one. Okay, Fatma?
Yes.
But is this clear? No touching.
Yeah.
Okay, Fatima, can you summarize all these 3 points? If men and a woman talking to each other, non-mahram, or if a boy or a girl talking to each other and they have reached to the age of puberty, what are the things they should remember before they are talking?
They can't look in their aura.
They can't look at the aura.
They have to talk useful.
So only useful conversation, not useless conversation. Third is?
They can't touch.
They can't touch. They can't touch. So even if I have to talk about useful things, I cannot just hug her or kiss her or no.
Not kids.
Absolutely, that's not. Even touching her, no. I have to stay far in a respectful distance and I have to say, Assalamu alaikum sister, how are you doing today? Is it clear, Fatima and Ibban?
Yeah.
That's beautiful, mashallah. Okay, fourth, last but not the least. Okay, meeting in public.
Yes.
Meeting.
In public.
So if a man and a woman
Yes.
who are non-mahram to each other, or a boy or a girl who are non-mahram to each other and they have reached to the age of puberty, not only they should not look at the aura and have a respect in their eyes, they should not only focus on having useful conversation, they should not only avoid touching each other, but the one important thing is whenever they are meeting, they should meet in public place, not in private place.
What's private public?
That's a very good question, Ibban. Wait, I'll tell you.
In
Okay,
private, only someone's place.
I'll tell you. So let's say this is a basement, right? Hibban, Fatima, this is our house, right? So if I am sitting with, let's say, Sister Aisha, and I'm alone here. I'm sitting with Sister Aisha, and I'm alone here. And let's say Sister Aisha is one of those sisters who is not mahram for me, who have reached the age of puberty, and I'm alone here. I am alone, Sister Aisha is alone, and this is a private place because no one can see us, right?
Yeah.
When no one can see you, it's become private place, right?
Yeah.
And basement door is also closed, so it's actually private. So that makes it haram
How?
because that's a rule. Prophet Muhammad said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that a man and a woman who are non-mahram to each other, they should not sit alone because if they are sitting alone in private, the third one is shaitan.
Donald come.
Absolutely. So if I have to talk to Sister Aisha, let's say about masjid, and she is in the house and I have to bring her to the basement, and if she is alone, how to make that conversation halal?
You could invite more sisters.
Either I can invite more sister, or I can ask Mama, or I can ask my beautiful daughter Fatima, or I can ask my good looking son Hibban, right? Or I can ask troublemaker mother. Oh no, exactly.
Troublemaker? Who's troublemaker?
You know, my mom is troublemaker. Okay, so that's why man and a woman alone in a room, in a place where room is locked, cannot sit together. Even if they have to talk about useful things, they have to sit in public. So Fatima, I'll give you a scenario. Let's say if a man comes outside and he wants to talk to you about give this to your abba or whatever. Let's say you have reached to the puberty, he have reached to the puberty, so the hijab guidelines will apply, okay? And you are wearing hijab. Can you talk to him outside about these things that, okay, take this food for abba? Can you do this?
Yeah.
Absolutely, because it's outside. But can you do the same thing when the room is locked and you both are in the room? No, you can't do this, right? Is it clear? Okay, there are exceptions. You know what are the exceptions?
What?
I'll come to you, Hebban. The exceptions are, you know what is exception, right?
What?
So exception is that there is a general rule, but then there are few ways you can, few times when you are not supposed to follow those rules because of the circumstances. So I'll give you an example. I told you a man and a woman who are not mahram to each other, they should not meet in private, right?
Yeah.
I told you that a man and a woman who are non-mahram to each other should not touch each other, right?
Yeah.
But if there is a need, like a medical need, so Hibban, who's your doctor, male or female?
Female.
Female.
Female, okay. Does she touches you?
Yes.
Yes, obviously. Now will you say to her that no, don't touch me because it's not permissible in my religion? Generally, you should say to every other woman after you reach the age of puberty that I won't touch you because you are not mahram. You are a stranger in terms of the definition of my religion, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to medical doctor, she needs to touch your part with your permission to examine your body part. Is it clear?
Yeah.
To give you the medicine properly. So when a medical doctor touches the part of the body with your permission, then it's an exception, then it's fine. Then you cannot say, no, don't touch, right?
Yeah.
When your parents, what parents are you mahram? I'm talking about non-mahram, is it clear?
I know. Remember when I was vomiting in Ramadan, I got really sick.
Mm-hmm.
When I went to the doctor, there was a man doctor for X-ray. He was doing my X-ray. Is he allowed to?
Absolutely. So generally speaking, in the cases where you mention about a medical emergency, it's absolutely fine if an opposite gender medical doctor or an radiologist sees you and touches your part of the body. But if there is no emergency, then men should look at the men and women should look at the woman, right?
Yeah.
But if in the case of emergency or for the child, pediatrician, they can be fine and they are exception. Is it clear, Fatima?
Yes.
Yes, Hibban.
If friends come in the house, could they play in closed room, boys and girls?
Ideally, if there is one boy and one girl, no.
Two boys.
Two girls.
If there are two boys and two girls, then we'll see their ages. If there is, ideally speaking, boys should play with the boys and girls should play with the
Girls.
girls. But if they are very young, like Maryam and Ibrahim, Maryam is 2 years, Ibrahim is almost 2 years, so then it doesn't make a difference.
But
But anyone beyond 7, I would say, anyone beyond 7, then they should have their own gender.
is it haram on her?
It can lead to haram. So why do you want to do that? So I would say it's better for men, boys to play with the boys or girls to play with the girls. If they are playing together, they have to make sure, first of all, that it's outside, not inside. They have to be extremely young, extremely young.
I play with my friends inside. Nashmi is a...
It's fine, Nashmi Allah, that's absolutely fine. But they have to be young. Once they are old, boys should play with the boys, girls should play with the girls. Is it clear, Hibban?
Yeah.
Anything else?
I have a comment.
Yeah.
remember in Saudi, I had a boy teacher, and we used to close the room. But I was thinking first, how was he allowed to? But then I got to know that Hibban was with me, so I was allowed to.
Absolutely. So if you are alone with that male teacher, you are not allowed to. But if you have someone with you, like your brother, like your dad, I used to sit with you. Remember that?
Yes, sometimes.
Then it's fine. But if you're alone, no. Okay. But there are exceptions. There are exceptions. If a medical doctor does close the door to examine you with your permission, and he's trustworthy medical doctor, and if there is no female option, then it's fine. If there is a Fatima, if there is a need. But if there is no need, like medical doctor, generally you are just playing with your friends and anything, then we have to follow these guidelines. Is it clear, Fatima and Ibban?
Yeah, but we didn't touch puberty.
But tell me, Fatima and Ibban, shouldn't we prepare for all those things before reaching to the age of puberty, or should we wait for the puberty?
Before.
Right? You are memorizing the Quran. Can you lead Salah right now? No, once you grow, because you want to prepare when that time will come, right? At the same time, Ibban, I know you love sports, right? Cricket.
Yeah.
You are practicing right now, even though you know that right now I cannot play any games in the ground, but I'm just practicing. Similarly, you have not reached to the age of puberty, but still you are practicing your religion, because when the time will come, you want to get ready completely. Is it clear?
And it'll be easier.
It will be easy. It won't give a shock. Is it clear? Any questions so far?
No.
Okay. Should we end here?
Trivia time.
Trivia time is done, inshallah. Okay? Okay. Okay. Jazakumullahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Bye.